There's story to talk about. I don't know if we could do that justice.
No, because I would make stupid jokes because my brain's turned to rot. But I will say a quick thing.
Just TLDR, good, I think.
I'll say my bit and then we'll do a very quick TLDR. They've definitely solved the problem of nothing ever happening. Because the Nerubians are on your ass so bad. You fight them all the time. They're constantly like where you don't expect them to be. Like story-wise, they are a danger. They're a threat, just like Xal'atath is. So that was like the first thing I experienced with the first thing I really noticed about the story campaign. It was otherwise a pretty good campaign, but that was the part that really like stuck with me. The other thing is, I like this a whole lot more than I do Dragonflight initially, right away. Straight off the bat, I'm like, this is...
And even though it's a zone that hasn't particularly resonated with you.
Yeah, and this zone, I don't give a shit about the zone. I do not give a shit about the
You are going to be sweating in Latin.
The rage I felt whenever I was like... Because I didn't know it was just the first zone to begin with. But I finished the zone and I was like, it's like go to the Ringing Deeps through whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll go. And then...
the Ringing Deeps is the second.
Yeah. So I went to go down there.
Oh, whenever you get to Hammerfall, it's going to be great.
And then it just went, you're not supposed to be here. Yeah. And yeeted me, not back to Dornogal, but the whole way back to Stormwind. And I was like,
cheers.
All right, fuck you then.
Gotta go and talk to Quest Tauren.
Yeah, but generally speaking, like I there's a weird part where I can't get like fully engaged in it when I'm testing. Because it's alpha and like the frame
music's not there.
The frame of mind. Yeah, the music's not there, the cutscenes aren't there. You get the what happens in the cutscenes briefly via text. That's basically it. So it's a bit scuffed in experience because it's not done yet, which takes away from like I have to like knock a point or two from my expectation just for that. Where I have to assume, well, it's gonna be better than that. It's gonna be better than what I think it is. Because not think, but like gut feeling. And my gut feeling was, this is better than Dragonflight, but there's still a little bit of lax pacing. And then I remember that the dungeon and the event in it was skipped over because it wasn't like, ready for testing. And I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, this is really... It's a little tiny bit by the numbers good, but it's still better than Dragonflight. It has some of the slightly similar vibes because you're being introduced to new people. And there's that like pacing issue of you have the intro that we're not going to see, and that's pretty high stakes, pretty big stuff happens.
Yep.
That's like a peak of we've got your attention, get in. Then you inevitably enter the valley of thing just happened. You need time to like recover and build up anew. So we'll see what happens whenever we get to the next one. Whenever we get to the next like zone and see what happens when we go to Hallowfall, how much that's like baked around. I will say, I think we might run into a similar-ish issue with Dragonflight, which is this is really quite short. Depends on how balanced it is, but if the like questing of this is the length of the Isle of Dorne times 4, and there's not an awful lot more to it, I would be a little bit concerned about like, oh, that's a tiny bit shorter, at least as far as like time to tell a good story is concerned, which then runs us into the same problem of, are you telling your story in 11.0, or are you going to continue that story directly at 11.1 and 2 and 3? Because Dragonflight didn't do a great job of that.
Holly said that they were... Holly actually... Yeah, you haven't watched the interview.
Yeah.
One of the things she said is they felt that. Like, my question was, what are, maybe like a counterintuitive lesson learned? And it was like, sometimes, more content isn't better. And she then specifically talked about the packaging of content, people knowing where that content is.
Yeah.
And just like a lot of those things that I think we're speaking to the cohesiveness problems that this expansion has faced.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I definitely feel a little bit of that whenever I played through. It was like, just on story, I struggle to imagine this being a good story expansion experience of an expansion if it's just for these. But I don't know what happens. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's shorter or not. Like, so that's the.
It is quite, yes, because maybe in the time of a whole zone in the past, that would have been like just the campaign leading up to Wrathgate in one zone.
Yeah.
Because leveling just used to be so much more of the journey. Which, you know, then it's funny. You almost think like, keep the XP bar going.
Yeah.
You know, let people just keep the XP bar going. Guild Wars 2 does it successfully enough. Let people do those quests so that whenever they go and they do the side quests on their main character, they feel like they're doing more than just filling out an achievement.
Yeah.
I mean, there is also seeing the quest, but I mean, realistically, MMOs, we know.
It's like to me, it does come across as like like we'll see. We'll see what it feels like. But I am immediately just like, I hope there's like a decent pacing of story content. Like if it's like, here's 11.0 and you've got the story and you're all sorted up, unless they can really blow me out of the water expectation wise, I long for the days of Legion class fall campaigns, like in terms of let me do a thing. I no, fuck it, I long for the Suramar. I long for Suramar. I want to hit max level and it goes, you've done the campaign. Now here's a story bit that we're going to like pace reasonably slowly out that like makes you feel like you're not just, and you're going and brick fucking wall at it.
Yeah.
Because that's like a lot of my problem. That's not my problem. Basically. Yeah, music's another thing where the complete lack of music does really hamper the experience immediately, which is not going to be a thing when it goes live, obviously.